Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're exploring Cal Newport's deep work.
Ooh, yes. That's a good one.
You want to understand this concept thoroughly, like really apply it, right?
Absolutely. I think that's what most of our listeners are looking for.
So we're going to go, a little deeper beyond the surface
Sounds good. I'm ready to dive in.
to really get those aha moments.
Yeah, those little nuggets of wisdom that can really change the way you work.
Okay, so to kind of set the scene, right? Imagine this. Bill Gates takes think weeks to escape distractions.
Wow, yeah. I've heard about that.
Carl Jung built a tower just for focused writing.
That's dedication. Makes you wonder
It does make you wonder, right?
if most of us have that kind of space in our lives for that kind of thought.
Right. Exactly. Like, do you?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Because most people, it seems like they're trying to optimize for busyness.
Yeah, that's true. But what if there's like a hidden path to productivity and meaning
Ooh, I like that. A hidden path.
that goes beyond, just checking things off your to-do list?
Okay, so let's break it down.
Yeah, let's do it.
What does Newport actually mean by deep work?
Yeah, he's not just talking about, being busy, right?
There's a difference.
He defines it as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit.
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
It is. But it's about reaching like peak mental performance to create something truly valuable.
I see. So not just any kind of work. It has to be something that,
Something that improves your skills that's hard for others to replicate.
yeah, like you can't just find someone else to do it easily,
Exactly. And that's where the value comes in, right?
especially in today's world,
In a globalized knowledge economy where it's like
where the people who can learn quickly and produce at like an elite level.
when the one's getting rewarded, right?
Yeah, those are the superstars.
It's the superstar effect.
He gives examples from music, I remember.
Yeah, he does.
But it makes sense it's happening everywhere.
Sure. It's like everywhere. Imagine two programmers applying for the same job.
Okay, yeah. I can see where you're going with this.
One can crank out amazing code twice as fast.
Yeah, because they're used to that deep work state, right?
Yeah. They're going to get hired.
Of course. But here's the thing.
Yeah, what's the thing?
As valuable as deep work is becoming, it's also becoming more rare.
It's like a paradox, right?
Total paradox.
Yeah.
And Newport's book suggests a few reasons for this.
Okay, lay it on me. How do you want to know?
So one is something he calls the principle of least resistance.
Interesting name. What's that all about?
It's human nature to go for the easiest option when there's no immediate consequence.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like if no one's measuring how we work.
We just tend towards shallow work.
Right, because it's easier.
Right.
And then there's this whole thing about busyness as a proxy for productivity.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like it's easier to look busy.
Than to actually produce something truly valuable.
Right. If your boss just sees you running around answering emails all day.
They might think you're productive.
Yeah. Even if you haven't actually moved, any important projects forward.
Exactly. And the internet, honestly, it's kind of made this worse.
Oh, for sure. How so?
The cult of the internet, Newport calls it. It leads us to believe that anything internet-related is inherently good.
Oh, yeah. Like we're always supposed to be connected.
So we end up valuing those shallow, hyper-connected behaviors even more.
So we're caught in this loop, right? Feeling like we need to be constantly connected.
But that very connection is what's stopping us from doing our best work.
Our most meaningful work.
It begs the question, what if our obsession with being busy is actually preventing us from
From what?
achieving the things that would actually give us the most satisfaction?
And make us stand out, right?
Exactly. Okay, but you know what's interesting?
What's that?
Newport doesn't just diagnose the problem.
Yeah, he gives us some pretty incredible stories.
He shows us just how powerful deep work can be.
Didn't he talk about Jason Ben?
Jason Ben, yeah. The guy who locked himself in a room without a computer to master coding.
Like he intentionally made it hard for himself to do anything but learn to code?
No internet, no distractions. Just him and the problem at hand.
Wow. And he ended up...
He became the top student in his coding boot camp,
And then...
landed a top job in Silicon Valley.
See? That's what I'm talking about. So it's almost like forcing yourself into that uncomfortable space.
Is what forces you to grow.
Yeah. And wasn't there an author who has a strict no email policy?
Oh, Neil Stephenson.
Yes.
He understood that protecting his attention was key to writing.
Makes sense. Like if he let email dictate his day.
He'd never be able to write those amazing novels.
Oh, I get that. I bet those emails feel urgent at the time, right?
Yeah, but they pull you out of your flow state.
And then nothing truly groundbreaking gets done.
That's the problem. Okay, so we had these extreme examples.
Right. But for the rest of us,
Like, what's the real benefit?
of incorporating deep work into our, everyday lives.
I think it goes beyond just productivity. Newport argues there's a strong connection between deep work.
And a meaningful life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just about getting things done.
It's about feeling good about the work we're doing.
Right. Exactly. It really is. And, Newport doesn't just leave us hanging.
Right.
He actually offers solutions,
Oh, good.
practical ways to cultivate deep work in our lives.
Okay. I like that.
It's not about becoming a hermit or, rejecting technology completely.
Right.
It's about taking back control
I like that.
and making conscious choices
Okay.
about how we spend our time and our attention.
So where do we start? I'm ready to, ditch those shallow work habits and
Yeah.
tap into all this deep work magic.
Right.
But I'm not sure how to make it happen in real life.
Well, one powerful strategy is to kind of reimagine your downtime.
Downtime.
Yeah, we often think of leisure as a time to, completely unplug.
Yeah, just veg out.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But what if we use that time more strategically?
Okay. I like
He
you.
calls it productive meditation.
Productive meditation. That sounds kind of like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
How can you be productive and meditative at the same time?
Well, it's not about sitting on a cushion and emptying your mind.
Right.
It's about using activities like walking or running,
Yeah.
even showering,
Yeah.
to actively think through problems.
Interesting.
So instead of zoning out during your commute,
Right.
you're using that time to actually work on something meaningful.
So you're kind of tricking your brain into doing deep work
Yeah, a little bit.
without even realizing it's working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Newport himself uses this technique.
To see really?
Yeah, to work through writing challenges or research problems. He literally walks his way to breakthroughs.
Wow.
But the key is to have a specific problem or question in mind
Okay.
before you start.
Got it.
Then as you're walking, you're actively breaking it down.
So you're not just aimlessly wandering around,
Right.
hoping that inspiration strikes?
It's a structured process.
Okay. I like that.
He even suggests identifying key variables,
yeah.
formulating a very specific next step question,
Yeah.
and actively working towards an answer during those walks.
I could see how this could be a game changer.
I think so.
For people who feel like they don't have enough time,
Right.
you're basically creating time out of thin air.
Exactly.
What other strategies does he offer?
Another interesting one is inspired by memory athletes.
Wait, memory athletes?
Yeah.
Like those people who can memorize a deck of cards in seconds?
Yep. That's that.
What does that have to do with deep work?
Well, it's about training your brain to focus intensely.
Okay.
Those memory champions, they practice techniques that require incredible concentration.
Wow.
And that focus spills over into other areas of their lives.
Oh, interesting.
So it actually improves their overall ability to focus.
So it's like a boot camp for your attention.
That's a great way to put it.
I like that.
Newport recommends learning a specific memory technique,
Okay.
like the one used to memorize a shuffled deck of cards.
Like the whole deck.
The whole thing. He walks you through it in the book.
Oh, wow.
It involves creating these vivid mental images
Okay.
and linking them to specific locations.
That sounds pretty challenging.
It is.
But I can see the value in pushing yourself
Right.
to focus that intensely.
It would definitely strengthen those mental muscles.
Okay, so deep work isn't just about isolated techniques, right?
Yeah,
It's also about minimizing distractions.
absolutely.
And that means getting intentional with technology.
Yes, especially in today's world.
Yeah, distractions are everywhere. How do we even begin to tame that beast?
Well, Newport suggests a pretty radical experiment,
This one.
a 30-day social media packing party.
A packing party. Is he suggesting we quit social media entirely?
Well, it's about taking a break and observing
Okay.
what happens.
Do you actually miss those platforms?
Right. Are you more productive without them? Are they adding value or just sucking up your time?
I like that this isn't about making a permanent decision.
It's not.
It's about gathering data on your own experience,
Right.
then making a choice based on what you learn.
It's about taking back control.
Yeah.
And even if you don't want to quit social media completely, there are ways to manage it.
Okay, how?
One strategy is to schedule specific internet blocks.
Internet blocks. What are those?
You choose specific times during the day
Okay.
when you're allowed to use the internet.
Outside of those blocks?
You're completely offline.
Wow.
No email, No social media, no browsing.
So it's like creating these intentional periods of disconnection
Yes.
to make space for deep work.
Exactly.
The key is being strict with your schedule.
Yeah, you're training your mind to be comfortable
Yeah.
with those periods of disconnection.
It sounds like retraining your attention span,
It is.
like building a muscle.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, but another major challenge to deep work is this whole like cultural obsession
Oh, yeah.
with being busy.
It's everywhere.
We're expected to be on all the time,
Right.
but that's the enemy of deep work.
It really is. And that's where fixed schedule productivity comes in.
Fixed schedule productivity. Remind me how that works again.
You set a firm quitting time each day
Okay.
and then work backward.
So instead of letting work bleed into your evenings.
Exactly. You create a clear boundary.
I see.
So you're basically forcing yourself to prioritize
Yeah.
to be more efficient.
Because you have a limited amount of time.
Right.
And that means getting good at saying no
It does.
to all those shallow work obligations.
That creep in and take over our days.
Yeah.
Newport talks about identifying your wildly important goals.
Wildly important.
The one or two things that are most crucial to your success.
Got it.
And then you evaluate everything
Okay.
against those goals.
And if it doesn't contribute?
It's a candidate for a no.
I love that. It's about aligning your actions
Right.
with your priorities.
Exactly.
Okay, so another strategy he mentions.
He talks about focusing on leads measures.
Lead measures.
Yeah, they're the activities that directly contribute to those wildly important goals.
So instead of just tracking outcomes,
Right.
which can be lagging indicators.
You're focusing on the actions that will lead to those outcomes.
So it's about being proactive,
It is.
taking control of your day.
Not just reacting to whatever comes your way.
Okay, all of this is great, but I think we need to talk specifically about email.
Yeah. Email is a big one.
It feels like email is the ultimate source of shallow work.
It can be. It's a constant drain on time and attention.
Do you have any strategies for, like, taming the email beast?
Well, Newport has a few ideas.
Okay.
One is to use sender filters.
Sender filters. I'm intrigued. What are those?
They're rules you set up
Okay.
in your email program
Yeah.
to automatically sort incoming messages.
So instead of every message landing in your inbox,
You can create filters.
to prioritize the important ones.
Exactly. And send the rest to different folders.
That sounds amazing. I can already see how that would reduce the overwhelm.
It's about taking back control instead of letting email control you.
Mm.
Another strategy is to simply do more work
When you're sending emails.
when you send a reply to emails. Yes.
Does that mean writing longer emails?
Not necessarily. It's about being more intentional
Okay.
with your communication.
Got it.
Before sending an email, ask yourself,
Okay.
what's the goal? What outcome am I hoping for?
So it's about treating email as a tool for productive communication.
Not just a never-ending stream of distractions.
I like that. Okay. And perhaps the most radical strategy he suggests.
This one's a big one,
What is it?
is to simply don't respond.
Wait, are you saying we should just ignore emails?
Well, not all of them.
Okay.
He argues that many emails simply don't require a response.
Really?
If it's ambiguous,
Uh-huh.
not a question or proposal that interests you,
Right.
or if nothing good would come from responding,
Yeah.
it's probably fine to just let it go.
Wow, that's liberating. I spend so much time on emails
I know, right?
that don't actually require my attention
Yeah.
by being more selective
You could free up so much time.
and mental bandwidth.
Exactly.
These email strategies are fantastic. I
Mhm.
feel like a weight has been lifted.
I know, it's amazing how much mental energy we waste on email.
Okay, what other tactics does Newport offer?
Well, for minimizing shallow work
Yeah.
and reclaiming those deep work hours.
It is. It is. I'm feeling so energized by all of this.
Me too.
It's amazing how even like small changes can make such a big difference.
Yeah, I think that's what's so appealing about Newport's work.
Yeah, for sure.
He gives us these practical things we can actually do.
Totally. But I'm curious, what else does he suggest, like to help us really thrive in this age of distraction?
Well, he has some interesting ideas about, downtime.
Downtime, yeah.
We often see leisure as a time to, totally disconnect from work,
Yeah, just to like relax and recharge.
right? But Newport suggests using that time a little more strategically.
Okay, so it's not about working all the time,
No, not at all.
but about being more intentional with our time.
Yeah, even when we're not working.
Okay, how so?
He talks about the importance of having a shutdown ritual.
A shutdown ritual. Oh,
It's about having a clear end to the workday,
I see.
a specific point where you consciously disengage from work thoughts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's actually essential for both your well-being and your productivity.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Because if you're constantly checking emails,
Yeah.
thinking about projects,
Or like replaying those work conversations in your head.
even when you're supposed to be relaxing,
Right.
your brain never gets a real break.
So what does a shutdown ritual look like?
Well, it can be as simple as closing your laptop and calling it a day,
Yeah.
but Newport recommends being a little more deliberate.
Okay. Like how?
He suggests reviewing your incomplete tasks,
Mhm.
making sure everything is captured in a system you trust,
Okay.
and even having a specific phrase you say to yourself
Oh, interesting.
to signal that work is over.
So it's like giving your brain permission
Yeah,
to switch off and fully engage
exactly.
with your personal life.
By consistently practicing this ritual,
Uh-huh.
you're training your mind to be more present in other areas of your life,
I like that, yeah.
which ultimately leads to greater satisfaction and well-being overall.
It's amazing how these subtle shifts in our mindset can have such a ripple effect.
It really is.
You know, one of the things Newport talks about that I find particularly insightful
Yeah.
is this concept of attention residue.
Oh, that's a good one.
Remind me about that. What's attention residue?
Well, it's based on research by Sophie Leroy,
Okay.
who found that when we switch from one task to another,
Uh-huh.
our attention doesn't immediately follow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, part of it remains stuck on that previous task.
So even though we physically moved on,
Right.
our minds are still trying to process the previous thing.
It's like we're only half present
Yeah,
in
exactly.
what we're doing.
And that's probably why it's so hard
Yes,
to get back into deep work after an interruption.
it is. Our attention is fragmented.
So how do we deal with this attention residue?
Well, Newport suggests minimizing task switching throughout the day.
Okay.
He recommends batching similar tasks together
Uh-huh.
and creating those blocks of time
For deep work.
for deep work
Mm-hmm.
where we eliminate all distractions and truly focus.
So it's about like structuring our days
Yes,
in a way that supports deep work.
it is, rather than constantly jumping around.
Okay, and one final takeaway from Newport's work that I think is really powerful
Yeah, I agree.
is this idea of cultivating a craftsman mindset.
That's such a good one.
It's about taking pride in our work
Yes,
and striving for excellence, approaching everything we do.
with a sense of purpose,
Yes.
with intentionality.
And it applies to any kind of work.
Right, not just the traditional craft.
Exactly.
It could be writing code, designing a presentation,
Yeah.
even answering emails. You can approach it with a craftsman's mindset.
It's not about the type of work,
Right.
but the way we approach it.
It's about seeing our work as an opportunity to hone our skills
Yes.
and create something of value. Newport argues that this mindset can actually transform
Transform what?
even the most mundane tasks into opportunities for growth
Wow.
and satisfaction.
It's about finding meaning in the process,
Yes.
not just the outcome.
Exactly.
This deep dive into Cal Newport's work has been so eye-opening.
It really has.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding
Yeah.
of how to manage my time and
Uh,
attention.
To create work that matters.
Yes. It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
Likewise, it's been a great conversation.
And remember, this is a journey.
It
It's
is.
not a destination.
Keep practicing, keep experimenting
Yeah, keep refining your approach
to deep work.
because the benefits are so worth it.
They are.
It's not just about, professional success.
It's about living a more fulfilling life.
a more meaningful life.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll be back next time with another fascinating topic.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, keep learning, keep growing.
And keep diving deep.
See ya.